Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning into today's podcast. My name is Honor Michael Thomas, and you're welcome to the Unleash the Self podcast, a podcast that is dedicated to helping you rediscover yourself so that you can be confident to go after the things that you desire in life. On today's podcast, I have with me someone amazing. He is a champ, okay? And on today's podcast, he's going to share what it takes to be a champion, what it takes to go after the things that you really desire in life. He is a two-time Olympian. He is a coach and he is a motivational speaker and also an author. So I'm going to assure you that today's podcast is going to be lit, that you're going to get to understand what it takes to be a champion, what it takes to go after the things that you truly desire. Without wasting your time, I'm just going to introduce my guest for today. His name is Khadevis Robinson. Khadevis, welcome to the Unleash the Self podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I'm very excited to be on here, and I'm excited that these types of podcasts and audios and videos are available.
Yeah, thank you very much. From my side, I'm really excited to have you here because I know that for someone who has, gone on to play at the big stage, that your message would truly inspire people, especially young people out there who are just trying to, find their path in life. People who are just trying to, understand where they want to go to, what would really take them towards their future or their goals in life. So thank you very much for taking out time to be here with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so without wasting your time, I would like us to kickstart this conversation. So I'm just going to ask you a little question, okay? As someone who, is a coach, someone who is an Olympian, right? I want to ask you one important question. What does it take, okay? What does it take to have a winning mindset?
I think the one thing that we all have to recognize, when I say we all, I mean individuals from all over the world. No matter if you're from the US, no matter if you're from Africa, no matter if you're from Europe, it doesn't matter where you're from, but the mindset is extremely important.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough last summer, 2 summers ago, to visit Zimbabwe. Okay. And I've been to South Africa, I've been to Zimbabwe, I've been to Senegal. And what I've noticed that in every one of those places, there are some really amazing people, amazing, smart, ambitious, and had everything they need to be successful.
Yeah.
So the winning mindset, a champion's mindset, is not something that you're just naturally born with. We all have a champion's mindset. We all have it in us, but it's our job to bring it out. It's our job to bring that champion's mindset that's within us out. Every human being have it because every human being was born. And what does that mean? That means when you was born, you came out, you started crying. You had what Martin Luther King called the drum major instinct, the instinct that you were supposed to be first. Every kid, I don't care where you're from, I don't care your race, I don't care your religion. When you're a kid, you believe you're supposed to be first. When you want mommy and you want daddy, you want mommy and you want daddy. You say, I'm first, I need something to eat, I need to be held, whatever that may be. So we have that champion's winner's mindset inside of us. But you know what happens?
No.
Life.
What happened? Okay.
Life happens. We get some setbacks, we get some failures, we lose some loved ones, we don't have the resources we need to get, we might get sick, we might get hurt. You know what this is called? It's called life. And many times what happens is we look over there or there or there or there, we say, you know what? They have it a little bit better than we have it. Only if I had that, I could do this. But I learned something. I learned something from my challenges. When I was a kid, I was extremely poor. We didn't have a phone. A lot of times we didn't have electricity. I didn't have a car. I mean, when I say poor, I mean truly poor. And I used to think, only if my parents had more money, only if I had different parents, only if I stayed in that neighborhood, only if I was whatever, you name it.
Yeah.
I kept thinking that there was something else that maybe I needed to make me become great. or to make me to be able to do what I needed to do. But I realized something. I realized that the harder I worked, the more I stayed with things, the better things, came to me. And I'll give you an example. The number one way for anybody in any field, anywhere in the world, the number one way to fail and not be successful is to quit. If you quit, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to succeed. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you live. I don't care where you're from. I don't care your religion, your race. If you quit, you're not going to be successful, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. What I realized is this: in life, no matter, I've traveled all over the world. When I was, I'm an Olympian, and I made a couple of teams, and I was a coach for USA and all those types of things.
Yeah.
And I noticed something. I noticed that most people in the world, most people in Asia, most people in Europe, most people in America, most people in Africa, most people, when things get tough, most people quit. When things start to get tough, most people quit. Most people start doubting themselves. When things get tough and they have to encounter something tough, most people start to think, I don't know if I can do it. And those doubts, those fears, we all have them. The doubts and the fears, we all have them. They're like weeds. You know what weeds are like? They grow in your garden and your grass. Yeah. See, nobody plants weeds. Who plants weeds? Nobody. But you plant a garden for some tomatoes or some fruit or some vegetables, and the weeds just grow. It's the same thing with your mind. What we have to learn is when we encounter setbacks, we encounter failures, when our minds start to get negative, we start to feel down and depressed, we have to forge forward. And I learned this. I learned that, you know what? If most people quit when things get tough and get hard, then I realized the secret. I said, you know what? If I just don't quit, I can beat most people. Because most people quit when things get hard. Yeah. So I said, I want to be in a field, I want to be in an area where things are hard, because I know right now, we're starting right now, and it's 10 of us, and I'm one of the 10. And this is hard. I know most of them quit. And if I just don't quit, I'm going to beat most of them.
Yeah.
So for me, the champion's mindset, the winner's mindset is not quitting. Now, this doesn't mean you're not going to have setbacks and failures and hurdles and obstacles. That's life.
Yes.
But understanding that this obstacle, this hurdle, this setback, it's not personal. It's not like the universe says, I'm going to make it hard for Thomas, or I'm going to make it hard for Khadevis. No, the universe doesn't say that. The things just happen. It's life. And how we respond to it determines how that obstacle moves or not. The obstacle is there.
Yeah.
The obstacle is on that road. And it's the quote that says, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. So the cave is down there, the treasure's in there, and in front of the cave is a hurdle. So everyone that's trying to get the treasure inside the cave is going to have to navigate that hurdle. So the hurdle's not there just for you. The hurdle's there for any and everybody who's trying to get that treasure in the cave. Now, what determines who's going to get it? A, not quitting, not feeling like, oh man, God or the universe didn't make me so tall, so it's harder for me to jump this hurdle because I'm not as tall as this person.
Yeah.
Not saying, the God or the universe didn't make it so I can climb like a cheetah, so it's gonna be hard for me to climb over. No, figure out a way to get over it. And then keep going at it until you get it. And we all have that in us. And I'm gonna prove that to you. When we was a kid, every single one of us, when we was a kid, when we was trying to learn how to walk, the first couple of times we started trying to walk, we fell. We fell and we fell and we fell and we fell. But in our mind, we kept saying, I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk. And you know how long you was determined to keep trying to walk? As long as it took. So what happened? What happened to us that we was the type of people that said, I'm going to keep trying to learn how to talk until I can talk. I'm going to keep trying to learn how to walk until I can walk. And now we get to obstacles and goals and stuff, and we say, oh, it's a little harder. They trying to do it too. So the winners in the champion's mindset is simply A, not quitting. Now there is a prerequisite in there. And what's that prerequisite? Prerequisite is you got to know what you want.
Yeah.
If you, I mean, and it can't be vague.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be rich. We all want to be rich. I want to be healthy. We all want to be healthy. I want to live in a nice house. You know, that's vague.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be specific, because if the goal is just vague, when things get hard, you're not going to go through that hardness to get it. You got to have a reason for why do you want to be rich? Well, I want to be rich because I want my kids to grow up in an environment better than the environment I grew up in. I want my kids to have the opportunity to go to college without having to work the way I had to work. I want to be able to leave a legacy for my family. I want to donate to nonprofits. I want to build a charity in another country. Now you have this motivation. So whenever you hit these obstacles and stuff, you got something pulling you saying, don't quit. What about that charity? Don't quit. What about that house? Don't quit. That's what you got to do. That's the champion's mindset.
Wow. Yeah, it's true. I think like there's something you said that really captures my attention. You said you really need to know why you're doing it. Like you shouldn't be vague. Because I think when you really get to that point where you understand what you're trying to do, like you said, everyone faces challenges in life, right? Everyone is going to face that. But when you know your why you're trying to do something, you get to just keep on doing it no matter what happens. You just keep on showing up, right? And like you said, that's what it takes to be a champion. You have to just keep up showing up. That is consistency. Okay. So now going forward, like there's something you've got to this point where you have this knowledge, you have this awareness of what it takes to succeed because you've been in that situation, you've tried out different things, right? And you've gotten to this point where you understand what it takes to have a winner's mindset. Now, let us just step back a little bit, right? And, imagine for people who are, just kind of like they are facing, they are currently like, should I say down, or they are like they failed at something, right? They failed at something and they're sort of just down and, doubting themselves. They want to try out something again. And they're just, that's umbrella of doubt. They're just doubting themselves. Now, for someone who is at that point where they are just doubting themselves, they don't know how to go about things. What do you think, or how do you advise such kind of people, like, to just step out of their shadow and just come out from that self-doubt and just give it a try, not getting stopped by, this self-doubt or, negative self-talk? Like what would you say to such kind of people?
So here's the thing. Here's what I do. I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
I happen to personally know Carl Lewis, and I know a lot of individuals that are way more massively successful than I am. Okay. And so I learned it's a certain thing called success lead clues. Success lead clues. So successful individuals, successful people, successful organizations lead clues. Yeah. And what I realized is that all successful people have a coach or a mentor. So what I do when I start feeling down, because everyone feels emotions are emotions. Every human being have them. No one feels great all the time.
Yeah.
I reach out to my coach and I reach out to my mentors. And I say, hey, I'm feeling down. I don't feel very confident right now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this job. I don't know how I'm going to pay these bills. I don't know how I'm going to reach my goals. And then usually my mentor and coach tells me something to help me out. They don't necessarily always answer it. They might not have the answer, but they tell me something to help me out. Now, remember, a lot of times emotions are just that. They're feelings and emotions. Meaning one day you wake up, you feel sad and depressed. You feel like you don't want to get out of bed. You feel like nothing's going your way. The next day you're happy and excited and you're in a good mood and you want to go for a jog and you want to go hang out with your friends. It's just feelings and emotions. And you have to know what the great book says, no matter if you're a Christian, a Muslim, a Jewish, whatever, the great book says, this too shall pass. Meaning that feeling that downness, if you can just keep fighting, keep focusing, hanging around positive, powerful people. See, I don't hang around negative people. And I don't care if they're my friend. If I got friends that are negative and they don't mean no harm, it's just who they are. So as soon as they start being negative, I find a way to get out of there. I don't even tell them. I don't say, hey, man, you being negative. No, I ain't trying to get into no argument. or nothing like that. I come up with some excuse. I need to go do something. I'll talk to you later. I don't have negativity is infectious and it's contagious. So you gotta be careful with that. Life is energy. Trust me, everything is energy. And if you want to know one of the secrets of life, really, I'm going to give you one now. This is an advanced level. So typically, I work with a lot of execs and doctors and lawyers and stuff, and this is the advanced level. So I usually don't explain this because it's hard to get, but I'm going to try to give you a little nugget. Everything's energy. And what I mean by that, right now, I guarantee you, Thomas, you can feel my energy through this phone. When I'm talking, you can feel the energy, right?
Yeah.
But don't you know that right now, if I screamed as loud as I could scream right now, they couldn't even hear me at the end of my block. If I screamed as loud as I could, the next block over, they couldn't hear me. And I'm screaming as loud as I can. But if I say, how you guys doing? Y'all thousands of miles away, y'all can hear me. It's nothing connected to my cell phone. There's no wires or nothing. It's just a little old cell phone like that. Nothing connected to it. And I can whisper, how you guys doing? And y'all can hear me clear as day. But I can scream as loud as I can, and not even a block away could they hear me. That's energy. Energy is real. So we have to learn how to connect to that energy. When I read old history books about Africa, they talk about those types of things, how people there could just look up in the sky and they could tell you how the weather was going to be. They was connected to the energy that was there. And that's something I believe in wholeheartedly. See, what's happening is there's an energy right now in the world that's negative. We got the pandemic going on. We got the gap between the rich and the poor. We got different religions and fighting. But you know what? We got to be careful about connecting to that negative energy. Because let me explain something to you. Everything on this universe, everything in the universe was created, and it was created for a purpose, on purpose. Now, what do I mean by that? None of us make stuff for no reason. This cap is not grass, your teeth, your lungs, oxygen, water, fish, everything that's in the universe was there for a purpose and a reason. The watch you have on your arm, there's no extra pieces. Them headphones, the TV, everything here has a purpose. Nobody put extra parts in anything that's created or made. And if that's the case, that means you are not an extra part. That means the universe and God created you for a purpose. You have a purpose for being here. Now, your job is to find out what that purpose is and not quit. If you fall into that gap of like everybody else, remember I said most people are going to quit. See, everybody else, I get it. We have a reason to be down. We have a reason to be afraid and to be scared and to be sad and to feel down. We have a reason for that. And everybody's going to feel the same way. So what's going to separate you from everybody? Not falling down that path. When they say, oh man, nobody got no money. Well, somebody got some money. Money is just currency. You got to find a way to attract it. Is it easy? No. I'm not saying this stuff is easy. What I'm saying is try it out. Go all out just one time. Find out, okay, I want to be an architect. I want to be a teacher. So what should you do? Okay, let's say you have access to a cell phone or a computer. Go on there and look at teachers. Find some teachers you admire. Get on LinkedIn or Instagram or Twitter. These are free platforms now. And you can just send them a message. Hey, I'm from such and such. I do this all the time. I'm from such and such. I really admire what you're doing. I see that you're doing this. I would really like to do it. I was just wondering, do you have any advice for me? Now, I'm going to be honest. 90% of them probably won't respond. And that's fine. That's life. No one, if people responded the first time, we all be rich. I mean, like if it happened that easy, then, but you just keep putting them out there, reaching out. And then you're going to get 2 or 3 people that might respond, and they're going to tell you what to do. Now, I'm going to tell you another secret. This is what I teach. I teach my athletes that I coach at Ohio State, which is one of the biggest universities in the nation. I teach the athletes I coach that was pros. When I went to did the Sports Envoy program in Zimbabwe, I taught this program. And it's 70 to 90% of success is just following instructions. Okay. That's it. 70 to 90% of success is following instructions. Some people get off on the wrong foot before they even leave their parents' house. Their parents are telling them, son, daughter, don't do this or do that. And for whatever reason, we don't listen to our parents. So we start to falter a little bit before we even leave our parents' house. But you got some that listen. You have some that don't make those same mistakes that their brothers and sisters made or their parents made. Then you got teachers that tell you, okay, if you want to make straight A's, you want to do this, read this book, study this, whatever. A lot of people won't do it. So what I'm trying to say is 70 to 90% of success is found in structure. So once you reach out to that person, whether it's a mentor, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a friend, whether it's a pastor, no matter that you look up to that's doing, and they tell you, you know what, this is how you can be successful. Follow it. Follow instructions. Some people won't do it. For the love of me, I don't understand that. A person will tell them, I'm a great author. You want to be an author. This is what I did. Do this. And then they'll do something opposite. So then you follow those instructions and then you don't quit. That's a winning formula. Because if you don't quit, the universe has a way of getting out of your way. Now, what happens to most of us is we want it quicker. So we don't quit, but then if it don't happen in a year, we go, well, forget it. It didn't happen. I did everything I was supposed to do. Man, don't you know it takes the Olympics is every 4 years. Now, I made 2 Olympics, but I missed 2 Olympics also. I got 4th in the trials 2 times. And they only take top 3 in the US. So I had to wait 4 years just for the opportunity to try out again. So waiting those 4 years didn't guarantee I was going to make it. I could have waited 4 years and didn't make it again. So I had to wait 4 years just for the opportunity to make it. And God willing, I did make it twice. But my point is, what if I would have quit after the first year or the second year or the third year? That's what happens. People have these goals and they think, man, if I don't do it in a year or 2 years, then, it's not going to, some things take time. It just do. Yeah. A normal pregnancy rate usually is about 9 months. It takes 5 years to be 5 years old. You can try to be 5 at 3 years old, probably won't work for you.
Yeah, of course.
See, some things take time. And then there's some things, and this is another nugget. And a lot of these things, this motivation stuff, I'm telling you, hopefully you guys are recording this and you listen to it and you play it over and over. See, motivation is like taking baths. You take a bath today, you smell good, you're fresh. But guess what? Tomorrow you gotta take another one. Because if not, you're gonna be a little sweaty. Same thing with motivation. Some things in life, now this is a tough one. If you want to be successful, this is one's going to help you. Some things in life, you got to pay the full price. You got to be all in. What do I mean by that? So you know what a vending machine is, right, Tom?
Yeah.
A vending machine where you can buy snacks and soda. So let's say in that vending machine, you want a Coca-Cola. And the Coca-Cola costs $1, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to get, how much are you going to get? What you going to get out of that machine?
I didn't get you. The network.
All right. So if the Coca-Cola costs $1.
Yeah.
And you only put 50 cents in, what are you going to get out of the machine?
You get nothing.
You get nothing. Would you get half the soda?
No, you can't.
Okay. So let's say the soda costs $1. You put 20 cents in. You get 20% of the soda? No. So in order to get any of that soda, you got to put the whole dollar in. You got to pay the full price. See, that's how life feels sometimes. There's certain things in life that you got to pay the full price. See, some of us, we have goals and we only want to put 70% of the work in. We want to work 80% of the time. We only want to focus 30%. And we want to get 30% of it. We say, well, you know what? If I can just get 60% of this, I'll be good and I'll be happy. But some things take the full price. Some things you got to be all in to get anything. If it's $1, you put 20% in, you get nothing. You put 50% in, you get nothing. You put 90% in, nothing. 99% in, nothing. You got to put the whole 100% to get something. And some of us think we're working hard, think we're dedicated, and think we're doing the right stuff, but we're only putting that 95% in. And that goal for you at that time is going to take the full effort and the full price.
Sure. True. It's all about patience. Like you just have to put in the whole effort in it. Yeah, it's true. I'm loving this conversation. Like you just you everything you're saying, I'm just absorbing it because it's the truth, right? It's what life is all about. It's what it takes to be a champion. You have to, put yourself out there and just go all in and just believe that you're going to definitely make it. Just keep on putting that effort. Now, my question is, it's not easy, right? It's not easy, waiting, like you said, when you in terms of the Olympics, right? It takes 4 years. Now, it's not easy. It's not easy to wait. We all can tell. And for people who are listening right now, for you, in those moments where when you were waiting, those intervals for the next Olympic, you were trying and not being, you don't really have that assurance that you definitely going to get it, but you were still waiting, practicing, training every day, hoping that you're going to get that chance. Now, in those moments, what kept you going? What gave you that assurance, like, to just keep on showing up? What was your driving force those moments?
The driving force and the goal was the end goal. The end goal, I wanted to make the Olympic team.
Okay.
There's no, there's no guarantee that when a woman's in labor having a baby, that the baby's going to be born. Yeah. But she continues to push anyway.
Yeah.
So my point is, that's how it is in all of life. We can't ask for guarantees on certain things. We don't think about this. We don't even give ourselves a money back guarantee. I want you to think about this. We go to a store, or we buy something online, or we buy something, and if it says it's going to taste this way or be this and it's not, we go back to the store and we tell people, you said it was going to be this, I bought it, it wasn't, I want my money back. But we say we're going to put 100% in and go for our goals, and when we don't take ourselves on that. So what holds you through the process of starting here and here, what holds you doing? Focusing on this, focusing on the goal. You see, what happens is there was an old story about a guy who was in a market. There was a market full of people. He's buying stuff, a whole big old market. And this guy ran, and it's police and everything around this market. This guy ran and he stole some gold and took off running. So all the people started chasing him, and the police officer chased him down, and they grabbed him. And they say, dude, are you crazy? Like, you stole the gold, and like, it's packed. All the police here. Didn't you see the police and all the people around? He said, no, I just only saw the gold. You see, he was only focused on the gold. He wasn't focused on everything else. That's what you got to do. When you have a real goal that you really want, you focus on that. Okay. You can't focus on something and not look at the goal. I mean, that's not the process of being a champion. That's not how a lot of times we look at people that's successful.
Yeah.
And we see the end result. You see, we see when they're already winning the Olympic medal. We see when they're already millionaires. We don't see all the work in between that.
Yeah, sure.
We don't walk up to a 2-year-old and say, man, it's amazing, you just walking. Because we know that it was a process. They was on their back laying down, and they learn how to crawl, and they learn how to stand up, and they learn how to walk. Yeah. We don't just go, it's amazing you're walking, you walk so well. We know it's the same thing with other things in life. It's, I just gotta tell you guys, like, if these goals and these things are hard, but that's the deal. That's life. It's designed that way. And is it fair? No.
Yeah.
And I'm a realist. It doesn't say anywhere. It doesn't say it in the Bible. It doesn't say it in the Quran. It doesn't say it in the Torah. It doesn't say it in any religion. It doesn't say that life was put here supposed to be fair. I wish it was, but it's just that's not the reality. Humans are here to make it fair, if we are fair. But it's not automatically fair. Don't you think the gazelle wished that the lion just wouldn't attack him? Or don't you think the gazelle wished, like, you know what, I wish I had some fangs and some nails like these lions. I wouldn't be running as much as I do. But that's just not the case. So the gazelle says, you know what? I don't have the fang. I don't have the teeth and the nails and stuff. I'm not as ferocious. Wish I was, but I'm a gazelle. And what I can do is I can run fast and dodge. And that's what I have to do. And it's the same thing. It's not fair. Yeah. But complaining about it not being fair and all those types of things is not going to make it any more fair. You see, the thing is, to be quite honest with you, if we use, and this is hard to really grasp, but if we use what God in the universe gave us, if we stop looking at what somebody else has, or stop focusing on what we don't have, and just use what we have, then how amazing could we be?
Super
now, does it
amazing.
mean we're going to be, exactly, it don't mean you're going to be a billionaire. It doesn't mean you're going to whatever, but you'll do better than what you're doing now. But you got to take action. Opportunity dances with those that's already on the dance floor. If you're not on the dance floor, opportunity don't even dance with you. You're just sitting on the side complaining.
Yeah.
You got to be out there. You got to be out there in it. You know, you got to be out there throwing the line and the hook out into the fish to catch the fish. If you sit on the side talking about how it's no fish in the lake, or the fish ain't biting today, well, you definitely ain't gonna catch any fish. So what keeps you, plugged away in the midst of all the depression and the sadness and the failures and all that is the goal. I mean, the time's gonna pass either way.
Yeah.
The year's gonna keep going either way. The 2 years gonna go either way. So you might as well be going for your goal.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah. So you just have to focus on the goal. That's the ultimate. Once your eyes are on the goals, every other thing that was just like the distractions won't really affect you, right?
Yeah, so a distracted mind is a defeated mind. The distractions will always come. That's life. You gotta understand that the obstacles and the hurdles and the distractions will always come, because that's life. Your job is not to get distracted by them, not to quit, and not to get discouraged by them. We see people that's successful and we think they don't get distracted, or they don't have failures, they don't have setbacks. That's not true. They have, but they've learned and disciplined themselves to ignore them, or to overcome them. You see, in my favorite book, there's a part in which, Moses, he sent some spies to go and see if they can get into the promised land. And so when he sent the spies to get into the promised land, a good amount of them came back and said, we can't get in there. They too strong, they too tough, they too whatever. And only a couple came back and said, yes, we can. You see, what happens is the ones who went and said that they was too strong and tough, they was focused on what they were. They weren't focused on what they wanted in the promised land they was going to get. They was focusing on all the obstacles. So now they had to wonder for 40 years. You see? A lot of us, that's what we do. Instead of us focusing on the power that the universe and God put in us, and focusing on our goals and believing in that no matter what, we're focusing on all the obstacles. So what are we doing? We're feeding and placing fuel into the negativity and the obstacles. I have a friend that's amazing. And this person can accomplish a lot of goals, and I'm trying to motivate him and tell him what he can do. And he's telling me why he can't. So I say, you can do it because you're smart. And he'll say, well, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm smart enough. Well, you got enough resources. Well, I don't know if I got enough money. Well, you use a friend stuff. I don't know if and I said, man, you better hope I win this argument, because you're fighting for your limitations.
Yeah.
If you win this, you're done. You're saying why you can't do it, why you're gonna fail, why all that. If you beat me out of you beat me in this conversation, this argument, you're finished. You better hope I win. Most people fight for their limitations. They don't even assist in their own rescue. You're trying to rescue them, they're not even assisting in their own rescue.
So that means what's happening right now, like why a lot of people are, in that failure zone, why people aren't really where they are, is because they've gotten so comfortable with, their situations, and they sort of embrace it and keep on reaffirming it. Like you said, your friend, like, okay, I don't have this, I don't have, like, you just focus on more of what you don't have, instead of looking at the possibility and the things that can come out of you, just trying out, right? Yeah. Okay.
So
I think,
remember
yeah.
this. Remember this.
Yeah.
Success leaves clues, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So watch this. Failure leaves clues also.
Yeah.
So see?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing. If you're doing something and it's not working, and 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 you've seen other people do the same thing that's not working, maybe that don't work. Are you getting my point? My
Yeah.
point is, sometimes it ain't so much that it wasn't meant for you to be successful. Maybe you're doing the wrong things. You see, I'm a coach.
Yeah.
I see people running, and I'm looking at them, and I'm thinking they're not going to get in better shape or lose any weight doing it like that. Now, if somebody was to talk to them, they'll be like, man, I run every day, and I run this many miles, I run this long, and all this. And they like, I don't know why I'm not gaining no weight or getting in shape. Well, they run if they're doing it wrong. Now, see, in that situation, it's better for them to get a coach to say, you know what? You got to run a little bit faster. You got to add some heels onto it. Maybe you need to tighten up your diet. So a lot of people, it's a matter of fact that they might be doing something, they might be doing it wrong. So you got to find somebody, you got to find a way to find out if you're doing the right thing the right way. See, a lot of people working hard, and they put a lot of, and then there's certain things that right now the world is a shift. Okay. And there's certain skill sets that are more popular than others. We cannot deny that.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is we have to understand that, we have to set ourselves and put ourselves in a situation, in an environment, in certain atmospheres that breed success also. I mean, you can make money doing anything, right?
Yeah.
But it's probably very difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's probably very difficult becoming a millionaire, being a person that cuts grass. And there's nothing wrong with cutting grass. I'm just trying to give you an example. So we have to understand that there's certain environments and stuff that breed certain things also. A lot of people might say they're not doing well. They might be doing well. It's just the space they're in. That's kind of the plateau for that space. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you want more, can you do it here? Yes, but it'll take almost a miracle. So we have to understand life and what's real. It's hard for us to do this. It's hard for all of us to do this, to look at the universe. When the new cell phones came, I used to have a BlackBerry. Most people who on here probably don't even know what that is. It's an old phone. I love that BlackBerry phone. Then all the new phones came out. I did not want to get rid of my BlackBerry. I didn't want these new phones. But lo and behold, after a while, I understood that BlackBerries was going to be obsolete. So I had to switch over. Now, when the credit cards and the new stuff came out, I still was trying to write checks. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah.
So after a while, I had to learn, you know what? I better start using these cards or stuff. So what am I saying? I'm saying that some people are trying to navigate this new world in an old way. And I'm sorry, but the world is moving forward. So sometimes it's a matter of us adapting and building a new skill, partnering with new people, even if you have to volunteer.
Yeah.
You go to an organization or go to whatever and say, can I just volunteer for a month and just learn a skill set and network? So that's part of the process too. Maybe we're trying, you can working hard is a prerequisite, but you also got to be working smart. You got to be working in a way that's going to bring some results, and it's going to bring results in a speedier way. Can you type on a typewriter now? Yes, you can. You can actually buy a typewriter, have a typewriter, and type on it. But man, you're just wasting a whole bunch of time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you have the old-fashioned Polaroid pictures where you go and the picture comes out like this, and then you keep it Yeah, but dude, like you can take 1,000 pictures with your phone and you have 1,000 on there and you can just access them anytime.
Yeah.
So one thing about success in life is understanding where the universe and where energy and where people are at.
Yeah.
And if you're not where they're at, it's going to be hard for you to navigate that success in the same direction because you're navigating from a world that's kind of moving forward.
Yeah, that's actually true. I think for most part, a lot of people, one thing I've noticed for a couple of times now, there are, like you mentioned, something about skill sets, like you just have to keep on upgrading your skill set, right? I noticed like a lot of young people who, in this part of the world, they have so many degrees, sort of paper degree and no skill. And a lot of them are sort of, frustrated and confused,
Yeah.
like, hey, what's happening? Why aren't things okay? Why am I not, getting rich, as the case may be? Meanwhile, everyone is stuck at the old mindset, which is you just go to school, you just come out and, there's just going to be a job waiting for you somewhere, that kind of mindset. And right now we're just putting unnecessary pressure on ourselves. We are feeling frustrated, like, okay, this world doesn't love us, like, we've been cheated. Meanwhile, what we are failing to understand is that we are living in the old world. Like, you have
That's
to
right.
migrate to this new world, which is the world of skill set. You have to understand what's working. And I think it also goes down to like what you mentioned. You have to follow instructions, like get a mentor, look for people who are getting the results you wish to get, right? And, just approach them and let them help you, tell you how to go about you like achieving that thing that you so desire. So I think these are just like few things I got from, what you've said so far, like, the last thing you said. And I sort of try to, picture it with the world I live in right now, right? So that's why I gave you that analogy. So now I would like to ask you, okay, as someone who has been a coach, someone who has been helping people, build themselves up, grow in life, I would like to ask you, like, how do you help people find their passion or purpose, as the case may be? Because I think if people should know their purpose, right, they can get more focused and, just put in the necessary work that is required to succeed in today's world. So how do we find our purpose?
Well, see, you gotta eliminate the distractions. You see, the thing that's one thing that's really hurting a lot of the younger generation, they got the degrees, right?
Yeah.
But in this day and time, just having a degree is not just necessarily enough. Mm-hmm. It's the starting point, right?
Yeah.
But what happens is this: when we was kids, we didn't have as many distractions, meaning we didn't have this internet and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. So having all these different distractions, because a distracted mind is a defeated mind. So now you can wake up. So let's put it like this: if there was no internet and all this type of stuff, when a person wakes up and goes through their day, they're only going to focus on what's important to them. Well, right now we got so many other things that we get pulled every different direction, so we can't focus on necessarily what's important.
Okay.
So here's what I would do. I was thinking about this. Let's say right now you have an engineering degree and you can't find a job.
Yeah.
And you've been looking for a month, 2 months, whatever. How about you call up an engineering firm or a company that could use engineering, and you say, I'll work for you for free for a month. Now, while you're working for free, you're still looking for a job now. Don't stop looking for a job. And when you work for free, work your ass off. I mean, work, man. Work so good that it's like you work better than everybody at the job. Because if that person, they both don't hire you, he gonna have a friend or somebody he knows somewhere with a job. Don't say, I got a kid here that's working for free. He's better than everybody I got. You got to hire this kid. Now, most people won't do that because they say, I don't want to work for free. Well, you still haven't got a job. You could be looking for a job another 4 months anyway. Yeah. And I'm not saying don't look for a job. You're still looking for your job. But what you're doing is you're presenting your skill set. Let's say you do something with computers or online. Oh my goodness. Just get online and show it. Go to LinkedIn, go to Instagram, go to Twitter. connect constantly. Don't get caught up in all the dancing and this. I mean, if you like that, good, but I'm talking about business here. You know, offer your services. Find ways to answer questions. Go to Medium. If you got a degree in electronics, maybe somebody online on Yahoo or someone's asking questions about, you know, their lights or something. Answer the questions. Always be doing something that leads to something.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if I'm on that path where I'm trying to find my purpose and I just keep on doing something, just keep on being active, does it mean that I'm going to find that thing that I like, I would love in the long run? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because here's what happens. Your purpose is gonna find you.
Okay.
It's already there.
Okay.
Okay, let me see if I can explain it. You're gonna wake up and you won't be able to run from your purpose. Meaning you're gonna think about it all the time. It's gonna pop up all the time. That's the way these things work.
Yeah. It's
just even you, I don't know what your field is, but even like there's people that work in one field and they know their purpose is something else. Yeah. You gotta remember, it ain't always like you're gonna be working in the field that's your purpose, because there's a certain thing called life.
Yeah.
So I'm a teacher, even though I coach.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a speaker and a motivator. But my job is I'm a coach at Ohio State. Now my speaking and all that other stuff, well, I don't necessarily make so much money from doing that, but that's my purpose, so I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
So you might have to, your purpose, you might have to do it for free, because your purpose is something that you would do for free if you was rich. Now I know people say, well, I need a job. Well, you gotta get a job to live. And if you're blessed, you can get a purpose and a job be the same thing. But we deal with something called life. Maybe in certain places, your purpose is you're not able to monetize it yet. So you got to have something there so that you can live in the meantime. And that's where a skill set comes in. Okay. You got to have a skill set that you're able to monetize.
Okay.
And here's the thing, man, and I want to be real. When I was younger, we were poor. I mean, I used to cut grass. I washed cars. I would buy, we used to have this candy called Now Labels. You could buy it for 25 cents, a little pack. I would buy a pack for 25 cents, and inside the pack, there was 6 pieces of like wrapped up candy. I sell each piece for 10 cents. So I make 60 cents off of 25, and I would keep doing it. And that's the only way I made money. I pick up cans. What am I saying? I'm saying, you still got to hustle. I mean, I know sometimes, and I've traveled the world, and I know that there's a perception that in the U.S. that we have it made or it's so good and all that. And I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say we're not fortunate here to have opportunities if you work your butt off and all that. Yeah. But it's I don't think it's, there's people that struggle here too. And, it's one thing to not have a job and be struggling. There's one thing to have a low paying job and be struggling. But think about, there's individuals here that got master's degrees and PhDs that's been working for 20 years and they struggling. So think about how scary that is when you've done everything right and you got the degrees and you got all that and you still struggling. So, but at the end of the day, you got to keep pushing forward. You got to keep pushing forward. Now, if you have this skill set, you have these degrees, but there's no job for you can create the job. How about you create it? You say, well, I can't do it by myself. Well, partner up with somebody. You got, 4 or 5 friends, maybe 6, 7 friends, and y'all in similar situations. How about you guys come up together and come up with something and start small? See, the problem is we want to be so big, but you can start small and just keep building and building and building and building. Currency's there. The resources is there, but you have to think globally. You can't think You have to think the world now is global.
Yeah.
Internet makes it global, and you got cryptocurrency too. So if you think strategically and you really use what we call sweat equity, meaning you have to put the time in to really think and come up with stuff and try it. And is it going to work the first time? Probably not.
No.
I mean, if it worked the first time, hell, I would be a super millionaire. But that's just, but I'm gonna keep trying. And then you try it and you learn, and 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 then you learn more from it. You know, you try to sell, you make this trinket and you try to sell it. And the first time you sell, you sell 5. And then after, a couple of months, you sell 10. Why? You got better at selling. You got better at selling. Guess what happens when you do stuff over and over and over again? You get better.
Yeah.
Now, what if it's 7 of you guys doing that? And what if you pool your money and invest in something bigger? Now you buy a bigger bus or van or a tractor. You get you buy a bigger property. You do different tours, whatever it may be. It's mental equity.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just out hustle whomever. You see a company's doing it, and you go, me and my friends can do that. We can do that better. And you start small, and then you grind, and you ask for help. Ask and you shall receive. Most people receive not because they ask not.
Yeah.
What do you have to lose? Sitting around complaining about what's not there, because the world is abundant. What I mean by that is, money's currency.
Yeah.
That means it flows. It's there. We have to find a way to get it to bring it to us.
Yeah.
And if you have a skill set or an invention or whatever it may be, I tell you this, if you're the best singer, and some people can sing, they're the best singers in the city, and they never sing though. They don't sing on the platform. They won't go on YouTube and put themselves out there. And if they do, soon as they get some criticism, they just stop doing it. I mean, come on. Some people are good artists, but they won't, if you're a good artist and you believe in yourself, you should be putting art everywhere. Just keep putting it out. Listen, Tupac passed in 96, and we still hear songs from Tupac right now.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to do. And you got to believe in yourself,
mm-hmm.
and you got to believe in why you're doing it. But if you're just trying to do it just for the money, a lot of times that's not enough. I'm sorry. I have to be honest with you, because what happens is, A, when things get hard, you quit. And B, once you get the money, then what?
Yeah.
You see? You have to want it, because you got to look at somebody. I look at, when I was running, I used to look at people, or even now when I went to college, and I came from the inner city, poor, grimy. And I went to college, and I'm seeing people driving cars way better than my family ever had. And I'm seeing them, and I remember looking at them, and I used to think, man, I'm just as smart as they are. I believe that. And I just worked my butt off. Now, my grades didn't show it at first, because I wasn't there yet. But after 2 and 3 years, I was making just as good as grades they were. So you have to really, because if you don't believe it, then how are you going to get somebody else to believe it, to hire you or work with you or whatever? So you got to work on you. You got to have a good conversation with yourself and be honest. You know what? I ain't hustling enough. I'm waking up. If you're waking up at 8 or 9 o'clock, really? No, you gotta get up and grind. If you're getting up at 8 or 9 o'clock, people got 2 and 3 hours head start on you already. You think you're working hard, but people, you're not even putting yourself in the ball game. If you have access to this internet, I'm telling you should be. I wouldn't be on there watching videos and TikToking and all that silliness. If you need a job, now, if you already got a job, you're good. Then okay, whatever. But if you're talking about getting a job and providing, I would be grinding, selling myself, marketing myself, getting better at something. There are skills that you might have that people will pay you for. You got Venmo, you got PayPal, you got all these different avenues which you can get paid online. So to me, the question you're asking is, how can individuals that's in a system or an environment which looks like they can't get out of it, and they doing everything they can, how can they get motivated? How can they find their goals to move forward? The first thing they have to do is be honest with themselves and find out what is their goal, what is their why, what do they want?
Okay.
Second thing is look for someone that knows something about that or that can help you with that. Either someone, when I was running the 800, the best 800 meter runner in the US was Johnny Gray. He's American record. I went to go train with him. I'm gonna train with the best if I can. So you might not be able to do that, but you can reach out to them and just ask them questions. And they might not answer. Reach out to 10 of them and they give you an answer, and try it. And then don't quit. Let everybody, people need to know that you're trying to do what you're trying to do. I tell everybody, I'm speaking, I plan on coming after this summer. I let everybody know because I want somebody, when they hear about it, man, we need somebody, a speaker, to train people in Africa. I remember Khadevis said he was going to, see, you got to put that out. You got to put that energy out there.
Yeah.
Because people might not know. They might not know you need a job. Nobody's sitting around just thinking about Khadevis. Nobody's sitting around just thinking about Thomas. You think somebody in the further part of Nigeria just sitting around, I wonder what old Thomas, what they doing over there. What does he do? No, people are too invested in their own lives.
Yeah.
So what I gotta do is let them know this is my goal. This is what I'm trying to do. You got anybody that can help me? So then when some come up and God and the universe decides to bless me, they say, I remember, we got somebody that got all these kids and they need somebody to speak to them. Man, I heard a podcast with Khadevis on. I think that was good. Let me contact. See, now we got it.
Yeah.
I do 15 of these every week and I don't charge a dime. Because I know after a while, I'll get in every once a month, I get one that's paying. That makes up for the 15 I didn't charge anything for.
Yeah. Yeah, got it. It's been a very interesting conversation, to tell you the truth. Like, I've soaked in a lot of good messages, and I've got to learn a lot from you. And I believe that for anyone who's listening right now, or anyone who would listen to this podcast, I believe that they are also going to get a lot, because trust me, for young people, sometimes we don't get it. Like, we don't get it, like what's this life is all about and all these things. And listening to you speak from experience as a former Olympian and also as a coach currently, right? There's that when you talk, there's that truth in everything you're saying, because it's coming out from experience, and there's nothing as sweet as experience. If you want, like Einstein said, like, he became great because he learned from giants. He learned from mentors, right? Yeah, he became great because of that. He learned from his predecessors. So I'm so grateful that you took the time here to just speak to us, just let it out. And I love all the message you've laid out, right? So before we wrap up this podcast, I would like to just ask you, you're a coach, right? And you help people out, grow and become their best self. Now, if someone wants to work with you, like they would just want to reach out, can you just tell us how can whoever wants to reach out to you, how can they do that?
So my name is Khadevis. That's K as in kind, H as in happy, A as in attitude, D as in dedicated, E as in excellent, V as in victory, I as in independent, and S as in success. So it's right here on my shirt, Khadevis.
Yeah, Khadevis.
Just took the M off,
Khadevis.
All of my social media is Khadevis, at Khadevis. Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, you name it, Snapchat, whatever, TikTok, all of it's at Khadevis. And you can reach out to me, and And you know, we got those types of things going on. And like I told you, you know, in my university, and I'm at the Ohio State University, which is one of the largest universities in the U.S.
Yeah.
We got 3 Nigerians on our track team. Okay. You know, so and so it's an international flavor that's there.
Yeah.
And they're great students. They're really good athletes. One of them, actually, she won the African championships for Nigeria in the, I want to say, the discus or the shot put, named Sade. She's amazing, like really good student. I think she's gonna be a doctor and the whole nine. But the point I'm making is that, you know, you really gotta, you know, put that energy in. And like I said, you know, with God's You, the organization, I'm gonna send you an email, you know, because some people on there that maybe you can link up with. Okay. And who knows? Yeah. But the main thing, you know, I like everybody to get out of this, and you can reach out to me at Khadevis, but it's, you know, right now, the world, you know, we're going through a shift. Yes. And there's a quote that says, "The learners will inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped for a world that no longer exists." Now, what does that mean? It means the people that has their eyes open, that's learning and that's networking, that's partnering up, that's teaming up, that's not quitting, they're going to be successful. And the people that think that just because, you know, they're this person or they got this degree or whatever, that they're going to have it made, they're going to be in trouble. So I advise people, you know, I understand, you know, you're going through a hard time, things are not going the way you want it to go, you know, but I'm telling you, you know, being down about it, and it's all right to be down for a little while. That's human nature. But after you get down, pick yourself up and let's move forward. And I guarantee you, it ain't gonna happen overnight, but I guarantee you that if right now you make a decision right now and say, you know what, the next 2 months, no excuse, I'm getting up every morning at a certain time, and I'm putting 100% of me. Remember, you can't put 50% and get half. I'm putting 100% of me for the next 2 months. I'm gonna be all in for the next 2 months on my goal. I guarantee you after 2 months, things will be better then than they are now. I guarantee it. But you gotta be committed. You can't go for, you know, 3 weeks and then stop and then go and say it was 2 months. 2 months, just straight 2 months, 100%. Reaching out, taking the no's. You're gonna get a lot of no's, you're gonna get a lot of slamming, you're gonna get a lot of criticism, you're gonna get a lot of rejections. That's part of the deal. But just 2 months, getting all of those rejections, all of those no's, it's a numbers game. And just keep plugging and plugging and plugging. Guarantee you in 2 months, you will send me a message on Instagram or on LinkedIn or Twitter or something saying, Khadevis, you said it, and it happened. I do this every time I do a podcast, and I always get that response. So if you need to get in touch with me at Khadevis, and I really look forward to doing this again, my friend. Yeah, I honestly, that's the next thing I wanted to say. Like, we have to do this because trust me, like I'm just like, it's the energy, first of all, from your end is high. Like it's very high, and I can feel it. And trust me, there's like, you know, you mentioned like you just have to keep put in the work. You just have to keep on being consistent with what you do, right? And you know, yes, the truth with life is it's not easy. You're going to get obstacles. Like it's a default, like everyone has it. But the main thing is you just have to keep on working. You just have to keep on, you know, putting yourself out there. Like you said, the more you put yourself out there, the more you create opportunities for yourself. That's one thing a lot of people don't understand. Like, you just have to keep on putting the effort every day. Just keep showing up. The result might not come right now, but in the nearest future, in no distant time, you're just going to see everything work out for you. So thank you very much. Trust me, like I've gained a lot, and I believe that going forward with a lot of things that I, you know, feel in my own personal life, like, hey, I'm tired. This thing, it's not really working how I want it. Right now, I'm energized. I know that I don't need to stop. I need to keep on putting the work. That's right.
Yeah. So that's one thing I trust me, I've gained from today's podcast. And going forward, I would love us to do this again, like just get to put up this message out there. Let people get inspired. Let people understand that, yes, like this life is theirs to live. Like they can do whatever they want. Like they can achieve whatever they put their minds to. Yeah. So thank you very much for taking out time, to be here on this podcast. I really appreciate your effort. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. And I'm gonna send you that the message with that information on there, and we'll catch up.
Okay. I'll look. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you very much. It's already 11 p.m. here, so I'll just going to say good night to you, and we catch up later. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Yeah. Bye. Thanks.